tell me how to do the list?
Eat a burger.
You want eat a
and
burger.
Put it to
the-
rest.
Do it.
Now we know. Daddy's at the law firm until 8 hours, and Davey's watching XXX down in the fucking basement.
Get that out of my face. But you punch the burger? I'm gonna throw it.
Did you go to therapy?
Yes.
Yeah, we changed it. We're back up.
Come on. You got a lot of Bobby Knight in you. You got a lot of Bobby Knight in you. We've seen him 2 places.
All right, Wednesday, February 28th. Sucks it's kind of a leap year because the earlier we start March, the better. But speaking of March, speaking of our friends, today's episode brought to you by DraftKings. Are you all about NBA action? You've got to try Pick 6, the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. Right now, new customers can play just $5 on their first pick set and get 50 in Pick 6 credits. Getting started is simple. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and sign up with code RICO, R-I-C-O. Pick at least 2 hoops players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like will they score more or less than 30 points, or have more or less than 8 assists. Lock them in and compete against others for a shot at a huge cash prize, as well as huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and get started with code RICO. New customers can play just $5 to get 50 in Pick 6 credits, only on Pick 6 from DraftKings with code RICO, R-I-C-O. The crown is yours. Right off the jump, I'll touch the. Remind me to give these out again at the end, Dukes. But I am on. I got to cross into Jersey today before the tip to get it. Colgate. Colgate tonight. I think smashes Holy Cross. I'd put that kind of at the top of the list. The New York, obviously distinction. You can't be in New York when you do it. So we will be crossing into Jersey to get that today, or should be, depending on which way it sends. But Indiana State minus the 9.5 and Drake minus the 8.5. I think all kind of road favorites laying big numbers, but that's the way it's going to go. Really like the board tonight. Been on 1 or 2 each night. Boise was easy, relatively. DK partner, but Boise was relatively easy. I think this Air Force team might be my favorite. Excuse me. Favorite team to take in the Mountain West in terms of fade. They will not show up. Like, that could be – I actually hope they're weirdly, like, in the game at halftime, because that's what it was last night, and just get railroaded.
Yeah, but that was also, like, such a down spot. They just had an 18.5-point victory.
Agreed, but I think
New
they've
Mexico.
quit. Who are some other teams you've identified that kind of quit? I think Miami has quit. I think Indiana has quit to a degree. I know
Indiana
they just
won last night.
I know. But overall,
Healthy debate. They just beat Wisconsin.
They just beat Wisconsin. But that's not. Speaking of Wisconsin, absolute disaster of a second half here. So that's the big story. But who are some teams you think have kind of rolled over? I know Miami played UNC click, but they got smoked by Duke. I sniffed it out the other night. Like, there's teams, you know how it is. Bad basketball, guys just kind of show up at the end of a long season that hasn't been going great and just roll over. Like, I could see a team getting rolled in these big tournaments in the ACC. Now, some of them fight. I think Miami's not one of those teams.
Rolled over is a tough question because teams that just aren't playing that well as of late, I don't think necessarily means rolled over. Like, could you make the argument for, like, in Oklahoma? I don't think they've rolled over.
No.
They're not playing, like, great ball.
I
I think
meant
Miami in the big conference
yes.
is the one team that's really rolled over. I think potentially can make the case for, like, even a Georgetown for as bad as they've been. They were in a lot. They looked competitive.
They're not in as many as we thought.
They were competitive with TCU. They were competitive with Providence. They were competitive in some of these games. They got blown.
I know the St. John's people are going to think I'm picking on them. I think they win tonight. If they lose tonight, I could see them in a tough spot the rest of the way. Like, I actually think there could be a slope. I know that, like, slippery slope. Who do they have the rest of the way? DePaul, Georgetown, and who else?
DePaul and Georgetown. It's Butler, DePaul, Georgetown.
If they lose to Butler, do not be surprised if the wheels come off and they lose one of those DePaul and Georgetown games. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, I would be
they have to win tonight.
I'd be shocked.
Because this is a crippler because then if they lose one of those two, it's a crippler. But that's the way it's going to go.
But against DePaul, they're predicted to win on the road by 16. Georgetown.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Georgetown they have at home.
Totally agree. But if they lose tonight, you could see how that kind of rolls. You've seen those teams. They're on the bubble, and the next thing you know, they're just distantly gone. So that was the big story coming out of last night. Fire alarm is what they're saying at Indiana.
Indiana fire alarm. For Wisconsin was making a little bit of a run. Indiana, some fan probably pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah, so that's where I think maybe like causing some kind of delay in the stands. I actually have less of a problem if you go on the court and protest and sit down and cause a delay than I do the fire alarm. That's the thing where it's like, that shit ain't funny. That's actually a federal offense, pulling a fire alarm. So that, I know, like, I love college athletics and I love the decoys, and like when Wisconsin comes in, I don't hate them moving around their locker room or turning up the heat in the locker room. Gamesmanship. All gamesmanship. When the fans pull the alarm, that's where it's like, that's kind of shitty. So I'm actually on guard side here.
I disagree. I think that it's good gamesmanship. I think if you
A
pull
federal offense, there has to be a line. Healthy debate.
in 49 states, it's just basketball. If someone's willing to go to jail to stop a Wisconsin run in a meaningless February basketball game for Indiana when they're fighting for like a CBI berth, that's awesome. That is awesome to me. You're willing to go. You nailed it. I think you just explained.
I respect the dedication. I don't like the federal offense.
See, that's why it's awesome. Like, this guy knows. Like, I could probably get in a
Do
lot
anything else though. Then go on the court, because you would have gone to jail going on the court.
Yeah,
Go out on the court. Go try to take the ball mid-action. Go in front of guard and make a silly face. Like, do something. I don't know.
I like to see balls nowadays. All the pussification of America. I like someone to see the cojones on the putting their cojones on the line. Be like, I'm willing to spend a night in jail to beat Wisco, who's 2-6 in February.
Yeah,
at Assembly Hall.
They are struggling. The other one too, the Mountain West is awesome, but I think they're cannibalizing themselves. I don't know how many of these teams are going to get in. New Mexico's hurting themselves. Colorado State's hurting themselves. Nevada's moving up. Boise's moving up. San Diego State and Utah State seem to be like relative locks, but there's like 6 or 7 of these teams, and only 4 of them can make it to this conference semis. You get what I'm saying? So now if Nevada beats Boise in the 4-5 game, one of those teams is going home. Now I think they all should make the tournament. It's a great conference. It's above average league. I think it's better than the ACC. Hub said today, and I don't hate it, is it better than the Big Ten? Dukes? Because when you look at, like, the bottom of it is bad. Don't get me wrong. It's bad. But the Big Ten does not have an exceptional amount of teams this year.
Look, I still think the Big Ten's the Big Ten. I think this is actually the year that a Big Ten team will make a run because nobody's expecting it. They're like, it's a down year in the Big Ten. Still the middle of the pack of the Big Ten's good. Do you think Iowa's good? I think Iowa's playing pretty good.
Yeah, I think Iowa's pretty good.
Yeah,
obviously, I think they're flirting with the tournament. Nebraska's flirting with the tournament. But there's teams like Minnesota and Michigan State are at the top end of the Big Ten. You think they're like that good?
Look, all I'll say is until Michigan State's knocked out of that tournament, I'm not doubting them just yet.
Yeah, we've said that a million times.
I mean, it still rings true. We said it last year, and then you're like, they return everybody. I don't think that, like, returning everybody automatically means that you'll be a top team. I never thought Michigan State would be a top team this year. But I do think that they're still dangerous to make a run.
I'd like to see Iowa get in. I like their team. I think they were a team who could have rolled over early. Had some not-so-great losses. They seem to be fighting. I think McCaffrey has taken a little bit of a role, not scoring as much. They thought he was going to take a leap. He's been banged up. Sanford's been going off. Cricky's been going off. Dix has been playing some minutes. Like, I like that team a lot. I root for Fran. I root for that team and can score. So I'm rooting for them to make a run into the Big Ten and flirt with the tournament.
Right now, Mountain West is predicted to have 6 teams in the tournament. Big Ten's supposed to have 6 teams in the tournament. I think Mountain West goes down to 5.
Yeah, I agree as well, because look at the way that schedule's, one of those 2 teams is going to play each other in the 4-5 and eliminate each other. I don't think UNLV is anywhere near. Who are the 6 they have in?
Yeah, but UNLV is a bid stealer.
They could be. Agreed. Yeah, it'd be a nightmare for somebody out there. They might fuck somebody out of their own conference, if you could believe that.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yes,
like they
100%.
steal the bid, and then it's the way it works. So every night's a war. March is war. Maybe we got some merch coming out with that. But yeah, I'm very much excited about it. Very much excited about it. Phil, you got any lined up?
Talking to
Nikki
the
C in Chicago.
Phil looks like he's fucking debunking a spaceship. Go ahead, Nick.
In Chicago, you get some warm weather.
Yeah, I got Chicago warm weather out of that. Give me that one again.
I said, did you have a nice
we did.
couple days in Chicago with warm weather?
It was. It wasn't the usual, snot frozen to your face early in the morning. It was very, very nice out there. I hope that's a change in the tides. Like, let's put the snow shovels away. Let's whip out the sunglasses. Maybe put some winter coats away, and start getting out the
Yeah.
golf clubs. You know?
Yeah, we can thank Taylor Swift for all that jet,
Yeah, exactly.
all that jet movement for that warm weather.
Yep.
Hey, I got 2 quick ones for you.
Go ahead.
Hey, I know you're a big plane guy. I'm on a plane heading home. We land, all that. That they pull the gate bullshit. You got to sit for 20 minutes, whatever. So we finally get in the gate. Do you let the people that got connecting flights go ahead of you in order?
I don't. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well,
made a
I
whole
don't.
fuss about
It
I said,
depends how they approach it too. If you approach it and you're stuck in 32C and you know you're never getting out, and you come up and you come hat in hand, you're like, hey, I got a connecting. Maybe you show me the thing. Don't just do word of mouth. Show me, hey, it leaves from. Yeah, just when they start budging past and then you're like, excuse me, where are you going? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, connecting
I
flight.
go,
Like,
where you going?
don't assume I know you have a connecting flight, and also you need me to move, so come hat in hand.
Yeah, these old hags come up flying and they just
Yeah.
with their fucking suitcases.
Yeah, they
with
just
their
start hitting
suitcases,
you.
and they just start sneaking through. I said, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You got a connecting flight in 40 minutes." I said, "Fuck your flight.
Yeah, we've had it's
Fuck
been
your flight. I got places to be too."
Yeah, it's been a pretty good run in terms of behavior recently. The one guy was in the lane, and I just gave him a look like, "Bud, you don't want this today.
You don't want smoke.
this." And he kind of knew, but I let my row go, and the row across from me go, obviously. And I did have the guy was sitting next to me. I let him go, and then we get out in the thing. I go, I'd rather have gotten stabbed in the face before I let that guy go. And he kind of looked at me like, all right, pal.
Okay,
buddy. He was like, so okay, buddy. But he knew what he was doing. He had the knee out. I was ready to go with him. So
Hey, I know you're a wedding guy too. What do you think about? You have the band play, for all the guests, and then about midnight, you get the crazies, the DJ types, and you have a DJ on the side for another one.
yeah,
Little
I
combo.
don't like the break in between. If the band wants to take a break, they should go right to the DJ. That's a
Oh, you
big
don't like
flex
that? You like
though. That's a lot of money. You have a band and a DJ. I think that's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, a little after party. The old hags go home and they get the young boys. The Nicky Smokes of the world.
Yeah.
Out on the DJ floor.
Yep, that's a good move.
Michigan State, love it, Dukes. Have a good day, Michigan State, love it.
Yeah, they're alive till they're dead. That's how it works.
Tommy Izzo.
I got into some hands at MSG the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got really mad because
Dude,
my girlfriend had.
Did you go off?
I went a little bit off. My girlfriend was
we
checking the
go.
bag at MSG. And
You can check a bag at MSG.
you have, she has her purse. It's not like a clear bag.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
certain size. You have to
Yeah.
put it through like TSA basically. And there's guys coming from work and they're doing it like, oh, we have to cut the line because we're waiting for our bags. And
What do you mean they're waiting for their bags?
So you got to put your bag through security and
Okay.
get to the back of the line like a normal fucking human being. So
No, I'm
Yes.
familiar with this process. When you go, you just put your shit and you walk
you're
through.
not. You're not putting it in a container. Like you have like a backpack or like a bag.
Okay.
You have
Joey
to, like,
Bynes, America.
Right. And somebody tried cutting the line. Like some guy with like a briefcase was like, oh, I have to go get my briefcase because it's already all the way through. And I was like, hey, pal, we're all waiting for our fucking bags. My bag's at the front. Get to the back of the line.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I have important shit in there.
I don't know why the briefcase went through first. That's where I'm from. So like, you have whatever you have right before you step through the arch. The bag goes here. You step through.
I think
and
it was
then
just to
you
speed
take
up the
bag.
process and just pick up your bag
That's
after.
stupid.
Hey, Dukes, what's his better? Hey, pal or hey, buddy?
Yeah, he unplugged the mic. What up,
What's a better chirp? Hey, pal or hey, buddy?
buddy?
Love it. All right.
Buddy,
See you, boys.
Buddy with the Y is
Got it.
Sticking it in under pressure.
Yeah,
Bosco knows.
that whole process at MSG needs some work. I stepped right on the wire. That's what half the problem was.
Stuck that in under pressure.
Shut up. That whole process needs help. You're like 4 feet. You're checking in like 4 feet from the glass door. That whole thing needs.
I will say it got a lot better. Cause it's
not great.
Let's talk. You want to talk about fucking Ricky P and new renovations and everything at St. John's has got? Holy shit. Penn Station and MSG.
I know.
Is fucking nice now.
I miss the hood. I miss the hood element of it.
It's crazy. Like even just walking around on the steps. You did the video there. It's fucking crazy.
I know, but I see the garden I grew up was kind of there's a little bit of an element of loving it being a dump. Not a dump, but like the garden when they showed me on an intern, the first day, the girl was like, "You have a key to this closet?" I'm like, "No, I don't know. It's my first day." She goes, "Yeah, you do." She took her lanyard and fucking opened the door. Dude, there was a lot of like, the garden needed renovations, but I think it's a little like, I don't know, sometimes a little too nice. You know what I mean? You grew up on the purple and green out-of-date seats up in the thing. That's why I kind of like Shea. Like, do I love Citi Field now? Yeah, and it's been a long time, so you're adjusted to it. But sometimes it's like an old sweatshirt. Like, you don't want to throw away an old sweatshirt. You're used to that fucking, you know what I mean? I walk in, I know where everything is.
It's the entrance. Nothing really has changed at MSG from what I remember in the last 10 years.
It's way nicer than 15 years ago from the outs. The concourses, dude. Concourses were horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, that was like 15 years ago, so I was like 10.
Yeah, agreed. Fair enough. I was a young buck, too.
Yeah, I was watching Dayton win the NIT when I was 10 years old.
I was a young buck, too. Phil, give me one more.
Caden in Fort Worth.
Hey, what's up, boys? How's it going today?
What's up?
Hey, one of my favorite chirps is someone on the airplane that's trying to cut you and get to their connection or get to the baggage claim is, "What the fuck are you doing, Chief?" You can really get somebody to look at you like you're a dumbass. They question everything they're doing.
A guy we also need to fix the overheads. Big time. We got to fix the overheads. So I walk on, I got like 10C, my whole thing is filled, and I got nowhere to put the bag. 9, the row in front of me is filled, there's nowhere to put it at the overhead. I move a guy's bag like a briefcase to the right and squeeze mine in. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. He comes from like 4C and then comes back to 10 and grabs this thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to grab that." It's like, well, why was it in there in the first place? You're in 4. If yours is overhead, that's a you problem. Everyone should be entitled to their own row. You don't just get to come in, you sit in 25 and you drop it in 11 and then pick it up later. You don't get to do that. The row you have is the one you owe in front of it. That's half the problem. Then you got people in 5C getting off, and they're like, "Oh, it's in 10." It's like they're coming backwards. It's a fucking disaster.
You really realize when you travel that you're in the upper echelon of just intelligence when you're out there. But one thing real quick, I listened to the show yesterday and really loved the discussion about the 8 and 9 seed out of the Big 12 being a wagon and potentially could be a team that goes on a run. I think y'all brought up TCU. Obviously, I'm a big TCU fan. Does our free throw shooting, does our turnovers, I think there was a guy at Barstool back in the day that used to put out a little Excel spreadsheet or some sort of sheet this time of year that would kind of give you info on things to avoid and things to look for and who you'd want to bet on and trends and metrics and whatnot. And I mean, I feel like that free throw shooting percentage and just getting the ball up against the press, I mean, TCU sucks at that. So just kind of wanted to get your take on that, Rico.
Yeah,
and Dubes as well.
I've definitely heard that. I also think rebounding advantage is a big type of thing as well. There's some little stats like that. Free throw shooting, turnover percentage. The big thing it really comes down to me, too, also that slept on that all these guys, nobody talks about is tempo, is dictating the tempo. Like, so if you want to play a similar style as a slow team, they're going to be in that mix because they both want to play slow. That game's going to be, and to the comparative, that game's going to be close. It's pulling the upsets when you can dictate the change. So, like, again, I've said it a bunch of times, Marshall. Now it's going back like 10 years. Marshall was a lightning fast pace with D'Antoni's brother, and they played Wichita State, who was a snail's pace. Marshall turned that game into the 70s, 75s, 80s. Wichita was done. The same flip side. If you got a team who wants to play really fast and you can slow them down with 350 pace and you play a good defense, that's good for an upset. Changing the tempo and figuring out which way it goes for you is a great look for pulling upsets.
I actually think with like Dayton plays at a snail's pace. They're like one of the slowest tempos in the country. When they play some of these other like 8-10 schools, I think they keep people in the games just because like if they're off shooting night, the other team's hot, it's like you have limited possessions. But in the same sense, when they play better teams, I actually don't mind that they're playing slow. Like, if they played Bama, I wouldn't feel that bad because you're limiting Bama's possessions when you use the full 30-second shot clock.
Right.
Like, when you really, like, slow the pace down, you get people out of their comfort zone when you're going slow, I think that's a recipe, like, more of a recipe for it.
Well, it's also there could be a divide. Just because a team plays slow and gets Dayton in the first round, it's do they play slow and do they play effective? So if you look at their free throw or their field goal percentage and it's really bad, and they have a lot of turnovers, and they don't play defense as well as Dayton, Dayton's going to squish them. Like, what the team is trying to do is play slow and play Dayton's pace. They just don't do it as well. The same way with, like, when a 15 or a 16 plays Houston. If they want to play slow, I don't think that's an automatic upset.
Right.
It's just, you're actually trying to get It's the same way with Bama. Like, you want to get in a track meet with us? We're the best sprinters in the world. Houston is the best squish you play defense type team, so you're not going to beat them that way. It's the lightning. You would tell a lightning fast team could fuck up Houston that way. So,
and that's what happened. You saw that earlier in the year with TCU. I mean, that's one of the more frustrating things. It's like Big Monday, TCU. We do all this marketing and we shit the bed every time. And it's like, why can't we just worry about our regular games? We beat Houston on a Saturday at 11 a.m. But I mean, that Jamie Dixon style is fun, but that last 7 minutes of the first half on Monday going scoreless was fucking maddening to watch. Thanks so much, guys, for the time. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I think Ryan, shout out Ryan Hammer. We'll probably have him around Selection Sunday. He did a thing called like kill shots, or I think Evan Maya does that. Yeah, it's from Evan Maya, or he was measuring it. Either way, it's like the 10-0 runs, because those 10-0 runs in the tournament, like you can't let people do that. So it's who gives those up and who goes on those. And that's a good indicator as well.
I've said it once, but with Houston, I think the crazy, what makes them so dangerous is, one, they're always going to play good defense. Doesn't matter if they're having off shooting night, they'll always keep it close with their defense. But the second thing is they'll always get second opportunities because of what you said, the offensive rebounding that they have such an advantage of.
Yeah. Houston, of the three, I think who's the best team? It's UConn. Okay. Of the big three, I'm picking Houston as my winner of those three. That's not a slight on UConn. I actually think people are going to throw away Purdue. Purdue is kicking ass and taking names. It would not shock me if all three of those teams are in the Final Four. They're all really, 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 really good.
Look,
they're all really, really experienced in terms of what's going on with the coaches. They've been there a little bit before. Purdue obviously keeps getting knocked out, but UConn's the defending national champion. Of those three, I'm picking Houston just because of that fuck you defensive attitude.
I agree. And I think if you had a bet on one team, it'd be Houston because of their consistency, too. Like, when you look at UConn right now, right, they're lined up in Boston, which like the East, which is Brooklyn, then Boston.
That's home games.
It's home. 2 home games, for
home
sure.
Games.
But you're not, you're telling me Northwestern, you're getting Northwestern or Oklahoma in that 8-9 against UConn? That's not a gimme at all.
Not a gimme, but I still think UConn will be a 7 to 8 point favorite.
I think Northwestern gives UConn a scare. I think Northwestern might be the scariest 8.
Yeah, Houston's got good. I mean, Oklahoma's got good guards too.
Like even like Purdue, and they're 8-9. They got Florida Atlantic or Boise. Arizona, they got TCU or Michigan State. Houston, they got Mississippi State or Nebraska. Like, who are you going with right there? I'm going with Houston. Like,
Nebraska wants to play a little slow too, to a degree. Tominga can go off. Yeah, I mean it's. Listen, it's nobody's perfect. I think it's those three are in a tier above themselves. But we were talking about a little on the rundown today. The storylines, like who are the star players this year besides Edey? Like I mentioned, I couldn't think of his name at the time. I was blanking. But Castle at UConn, but like he's not a star. You haven't really heard him speak. Baycott's taking a little bit of a step back at
biased,
UConn.
but I think my guy's
Philip Bukowski doesn't speak much at Duke. Like a lot of these guys. You really – Kolik's a star to a degree, but is he that sexy, mass appeal? Like, we love him, but there's just not a lot of stars out there besides Edey. Sheed is good at Houston, but he's one of those, like, basketball nerd guys that, like, we notice. But he's not there's not a lot of marketable stars this year. But I'm okay with that because I think the teams have been great picking up the slack.
I think Connect could be a guy. Like I think he has every makings of him.
Yeah, but he's not really. He hasn't marketed himself. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these guys aren't like
Hunter
stars. I think it's I mean, Dickinson's taking a little bit of a step back. They don't look great. Where do you put the panic meter at Kansas?
So I still Hunter's so good.
Very good, but they're just not deep, and they got a guy banged up.
I don't think they're good. I think that Hunter's really good. I think McCullough's really good. I think KJ Adams.
What about
really
Harris? Good. You don't like Harris?
I love Harris.
I think Harris is unbelievable. He's not playing great, but
yeah, I don't think Kansas is like that good this year.
Yeah,
it's like Duke. I don't know. You could tell me all the metrics about Duke. You could tell me like. I will not put Duke to make a run. I don't believe in them. I don't trust them. They don't really have
bad
like you could. I could pretty much like tell like look at a team like this is their identity, and with Duke it's just. What are they?
Duke really did impress. They really did impress me against Baylor. They really did.
In December.
Agree. Yeah, that's still a marquee game, but you're right. Yeah, they went toe to toe with Arizona.
At home.
Agreed.
So again, like we're talking about like games that like.
I'm with you. I don't think I faded Duke last year. And
not impressed with the ACC
and that
at all.
pained me because I don't love Tennessee. But I said Tennessee, like you have to take everything that you know in the tournament and go away from it and be like and try to get the biases away of what's the real matchup, who can really cause a problem here. And that's what I looked at in Tennessee with Duke. I'm like, that's a nightmare matchup. Tennessee can play, and if Tennessee doesn't blow that lead against Florida Atlantic. They're sitting there in Houston as well. You know, so Tennessee kind of blew their opportunity, but wide open year. Phil, give me one more. We'll go halftime, and then pound them out in the second half.
Rico, you got me, boss?
What's up?
Happy New Year, first of all. Long time. It's been a little bit since I called you. I got a little rant, and I'm not sure how much you're going to relate to it, but it is a healthy debate. Why the fuck are the YouTube ads 45 fucking seconds long now? They used to be 15 or 10. Like I said, I don't know if you are a YouTube watcher.
Well, we're a Rumble program. We're a Rumble program.
I know that as well. It's dual, but
we ain't taking that.
No. We're a Rumble program.
We're a Rumble program.
Hear the Rumble. Shout out Fred again.
Right is for Rumble. Listen. I think that's maybe well, you do it universally. Like, there's ads on everything now, so it makes sense. But that's what pays the bills. Right. We love Rumble.
Donnie from Mexico.
We love Rumble.
Hey, Rico.
What's
Donnie
up?
Mexico from PCBC. I got two things for you. Healthy debate. It is astronomically unbelievable that Barstool Cheetah has not been hired yet.
You guys got to be careful. You start campaigning for a guy too much, from the hero turns the villain. Be careful with the full court press.
All right. Noted. I'll make.
Agree, dude. Because they're kicking it deep, and they don't have the coverage to field the runbacks.
I'm a Cheetah guy.
I am a Cheetah guy, but has he graduated yet? Is he just going to drop out of school?
No, I
respect to the Cheetah, but I don't think he's been on a chicken fry where you can drop out of college and be a star in 5 seconds.
I'm giving him the keys to success. I'm giving him the recipe how to cook.
Yeah.
What to do.
I wonder, maybe we just start doing a crew. We just start building a crew, and then after a while, they're just around. Invest in, right?
We get like healthy debate stocks.
Just a crew, just a whole crew. We just start acquiring guys. You pay your own way. But, like, everywhere I go on the road, the streams, this and that, I just got a crew of 9 guys following behind me. Like, who's that? Oh, those are his guys. What do they do? I don't know.
Unpaid illegal internship?
Yeah, I don't know. Figure it out. Or just start selling stuff. I don't know. Like, find us a way to get mentioned on Good Morning America, maybe. Ooh. That's your chance, okay?
Cheetah.
Figure it out.
Get us a TV, a radio.
Just put us on TV. Get a clip from Healthy Debate on Good Morning America. That's your challenge to you.
Oh, how about this? Get Bosco. Well, you go Big East tournament. Something with that. Maybe get you.
Yeah, I think I'm only going to be here Wednesday.
Get you next to Hurley. Wow.
Got the streams, man.
Hate to see it, man.
Good shit going on. All right, let's go halftime. Yeah, well, that's a good segue. So let's get into I guess from the start, it's not a knock, it's not a whatever. I had no fucking idea who you were a year ago. You kind of just popped into Dave's timeline, ended up winning a bet. So I guess we'll talk about how you got the job. But would you say, a lot of people always say, like, they throw out the term content, like, oh, I was in content. Were you in content before that?
So I was making videos just in my room by myself when I was 18, 19 years old. I mean, they never really did anything. They never took off until I really started just covering the Dolphins. And then I had a couple videos do really well. And I guess that's how I ended up on Dave's timeline. But yeah, I mean, I was making videos for 3-4 years before I got hired.
Yeah, you did the Bills one was also the one that kind of
That's the one that like blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually met Dave in 2020 when the Super Bowl was in Miami. And that pizza review where he's wearing the Kobe Bryant jersey, I actually drove that to their hotel and gave it to him. And I was with them when all that happened. And I spent the whole day with Dave. I didn't show him a single one of my videos. I was just shitting in my pants. I handed him a business card that he probably threw right out. I mean, I would have did the same thing. But then 2 years later, I had that Bills video. He said, this guy sucks. And that's kind of how everything.
There's also like the thing where people like in content, it's like, I want to go here, I want to go there, or I want to go anywhere that answers the call.
Right.
Were you only looking at Barstool, or would you have taken a content job kind of anywhere?
So I was trying to start my own version of Barstool until it got to the point where maybe Dave saw it, like, okay, this kid's building something, like, let me just bring him on. So that was my whole idea at the time. But then I realized I don't have the brains to run a company. Like, there's just way too much shit that goes on. And Barstool was always my number one destination. So 2 days before I got the job, I was just selling health insurance for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I would just come home and just miserable, like literally have tears in my fucking eyes. And I was just praying to God. I'm like, please just let me know if me working at Barstool's what you have planned for me, or if I should just say, fuck content. I'm done with content and just focus on making money and, you know, starting my career. The next day I got a DM from Dave, like, do you want to bet Game 7?
Let me back up. Perfect. All right, so that's a full one. It's about like a half hour, 40 minutes with Nicky Smokes tomorrow. We've done some stuff like that with the sit downs. I think he's finding his niche. He's got a good, couple of good ideas. I wish he was here a lot. I wish he was mixing and matching. I think he'd be good on the Monday night streams. I like his act. Interesting to see kind of what's going on. He always makes me laugh. I think we work together in terms of the whack pack type guys. He was saying how funny it was to see Frank for the first time. Shout out Frank, by the way. It's official now. Jenks blogged it. The Frank Walks with SVP. I'm sure I can't wait to watch that. Check that out on Rumble. That'll be a good one as well. I wanted to touch on this real quick. Phil, you can weigh in. Stanko, you can weigh in too. All like Northeast guys. So Hooters, a small town in South Carolina, is having a candlelight vigil for the Hooters that closed from COVID, which is kind of weird that they waited to announce that it closed from COVID. Started as like a joke. Then it turned into, I didn't see this coming in the video. They ended up using it as like raising awareness for a family whose daughter is sick and needs the money. So good spin on that. But what were some places, because you start to see it now or when you get older, things change over. What is the one spot in terms of a sit-down restaurant that you were the saddest of when it closed for you, Phil? Mine was the Newdorp Applebee's. After every game, like my buddies played at Farrell, you would go watch them play. They come into Brooklyn, watch you play, or you track each other. After football games, you go there before you go out. The Applebee's in Newdorp, and it wasn't even my like neighborhood one. I had to travel to get there. But that Applebee's was like distinctly, when that closed, I remember being like, oh man. Like you weren't crying, you weren't like whatever, but good memories in a sit-down restaurant that you were like, that, I remember what that was. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's a kind of a diner that your dad always used to take you to. What was the sit-down spot for you that you were a little sad when it closed?
It's not that it closed.
Or it's still kicking now, and you're like, it's on its last legs, and when it does.
With me, it was like this place called Pops. It was like a diner. Then it was like really good growing up, and then had different owners. I was like, oh, we didn't go there anymore.
Yeah, there's been a few like that. The A&W, the ones that sometimes I think it's the only one within like 50 miles. That makes it that much more special too. Like I didn't eat at A&W a lot, but I knew where that A&W was. So that was sucky when that closed. I feel like there's a few of those.
The Hooters was one of them because I was like where my friend's 5th grade birthday party was. But there was one by me. It was called Tin Alley Grill.
Okay.
And then that was the one I grew up on. And then it transitioned to Hurricanes Grill and Wings. And that's where, like, me and my friends would be, like, 16, 17 years old, sneaking beers, watching the games. Like, our football coaches coming in, like, we have to hide the beers underneath the table as we're all watching the national championship. Like, that was, to me, like, and then once that closed, I got really sad because I had a lot of good memories there from junior, senior year of high school.
Well, bars are a different case. Like, bars are a different story.
No.
It's a totally different category.
No. I'm telling you right now, you're not getting the vibe of what it was. It's like we'd all go there like after practice, and we'd eat, and like not everyone was drinking, but like some people had fake IDs. It wasn't like a drinking, standing at the bar, having fun thing. This is like a Monday night going to watch the national championship. Like this is where we like just go when like we needed to get 20 wings. To split.
Okay. All right.
That was like our spot.
Yeah, the same with me with the Irish Circle. They had wing nights and
no, you're not. This was our fucking Applebee's.
All right.
This was like.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
How about like your mother's house? Like we'd go to your mother's house. If like your mother's house closed, like I'd be fucking furious. That's the name of a bar. Your mother's house. Do you know that place?
I know that place.
Yomos.
Stanko, what's the spot for you?
Friendlies, where I grew up in Southbury, Connecticut. That was after every home basketball game, after every production like Broadway play the school put on, we all went out there. And I remember exactly the order I got, and honey barbecue chicken melt with an ice cream sundae at the end. And
every
I'll
time,
never forget
same thing. And we love these places, but there's nothing about those places that was like, their chicken is way better than somebody else. The fries were like, it was good, but it was just as good as everywhere else. Your mother's house. Let's get a T-shirt. Get them to sponsor, please. Let's do a segment of your mother's house or a live show.
Dude, I still like. There's like I helped out with the special needs community in Garden City a lot, and every single time I get hit up. Like, some kid just texted me today. He's like, I haven't seen you in so long. I was like, we'll go to your mother's house soon.
That's unbelievable. But none of those places, like, really stand out, and they don't do anything different. It's just that was the spot. And, like, it kind of hit different. You knew the booths. You knew the waitress. Something about that. Clicks, you know? So, Phil, you got any more? Phil just doesn't know how to use a mic. Phil, how many, Phil? He's Dukes.
Okay, Dukes controls if I'm muted or not.
Yeah,
so
fair
that's not
enough.
a me
How
problem.
many you got?
I have
Stop muting them. How many you got?
plenty.
All right, good. Load them up.
Seymour, you're on.
Empty them.
What's up? Healthy debate. What's the best part of New York City St. Patrick's Day? Is it RSPD? Is it Woodlawn? Is it the actual parade itself? What's the best New York City celebration around St.
Yeah,
Patrick's
so
Day?
I was not a parade hopper. I've gone to, obviously, St. Patty's on Staten Island and the city parade. I'm going to give probably the controversial take. St. Patty's Day in the city, the actual city parade, kind of overrated.
What about RSPD?
I know that you guys go hard. I just have not ever been there for a while. So respect to the Rockaway people. I think you guys got your red cups at like communion parties. So respect to the Rockaway people. They go hard.
Also, St. John's, they win tonight. What else do they got to do to get in?
We got to win out, obviously. You got to win out, and then you got to win that first game playing, obviously, in the Big East, I think, still. And I think you got to make the semis. I still think you got to win the quarter because that's one more marquee win. They're holding their hat on not many marquee wins. They got a few bubble wins, but really Creighton is the only big win.
Seton Hall, the best matchup for that?
They got swept by Seton Hall.
One was with Matt Aiello, and then the other was...
No, healthy debate. You're doing everything you fucking can to keep St. John's out of this tournament, and what you say does not go. Like, if St. John's wins tonight and they win out, they'll be on the right.
They'll be close, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of movement with the bubble. One of those bubble teams can pick up a big win. Can Utah pick up a big win? There's a lot. It's pointless. The bubble, like you're on the bubble or you're off the bubble. They're on the bubble, and you just navigate as it goes. You're on the bubble till you're off. But then the crazy thing is you could be off the bubble and come back on. So that's how this works with this time of year. It's just like you're just avoiding. It's like fucking American Gladiators when you're running that gauntlet and you try not to get hit with the fucking things that peg you. You get pegged, you're out.
Seton Hall, they finish the year. Creighton, UConn, Nova, DePaul.
Yes, Seton Hall could hurt themselves. But again, if you compare Seton Hall and St. John's directly, Seton Hall beat them twice.
Providence, they finish the year with Marquette, Nova, Georgetown, UConn.
Yeah, the Providence people need to be careful. They're putting me on the news and shit. Like, relax. You guys got to get in, Cheetah. Get in, and then we'll get you a job. Phil, give me the next one.
Luke, Villanova. Luke, are you there?
Luke.
Did I say your name right? You're from Villanova?
How we doing, Rico?
What's
How
up?
How we doing? So, quick question, Rico. I got Jalen Brunson, all-time Villanova point guard. Ryan Archidiakouta, all-time Villanova point guard. Scotty Reynolds.
All-time Villanova point guard.
What happened with him?
Some guys just don't make it to the league. That whole era, there was a
First
lot.
team All-American?
Levance Fields, I would argue, was just as good at Pitt. It took him to same thing, Elite Eight, near Final Four. Guys in that timeline, there was a lot of there was the influx of overseas guys. Guys were staying a little bit longer, so like when your time was up, then you had guys coming out earlier behind you. That was a weird time. I think a lot of guys now would be put, like you're telling me Jimmer
Wayne's, I think, ended up making the NBA out of that team.
Yeah, you're telling me Jimmer wouldn't find a spot
Scotty
now?
Reynolds at one point.
Dude, you don't think Jimmer would have like a career now the way the NBA is going?
No, I mean,
he couldn't have found a spot on a roster for an extended period of time.
I think that he overlapped enough.
Yeah, maybe I'm.
I think he overlapped enough where it's like, okay, he could shoot the ball. Okay, It's
a good point.
When he come into the league compared to Steph Curry.
Yeah, it's a good point.
He was in the same class as Klay Thompson, right?
It was just crazy. I mean, like you think about Villanova point guards, I put him above Kyle Lowry 100%.
Some guys just don't make it.
Scotty Reynolds?
Yeah, some guys just don't make it, man. It's hard to make the league. That's the best way I could describe it.
That's fair. No, it's fair, Rico. Love it. Appreciate you.
It's hard to make the league.
Oscar Sheboy.
Yeah, player of the year. Yeah. Edey's playing his way up, but last year Edey wasn't a guarantee if he came out.
Yeah, Edey's first round now.
There's a lot of guys.
This is just an NBA take. The NBA now is filled with like so many good point guards, and what they're really lacking is like getting a wing is like very hard now. Whereas like growing up, it'd be like for me, you have like KD, LeBron, Paul George, Melo, like. Those guys either old or out the league, like in Melo's case.
Yeah,
now.
it goes in waves. It definitely goes in waves.
Like you grew up in the '90s when there was all centers.
Goes in waves.
I will say this though, I think that Jalen Brunson actually is debunking the theory now. Like if Scotty Reynolds did get a shot, like no, people just counted out Jalen Brunson for no good reason. Like I think that now if you gave like Scotty Reynolds a chance back when. Who's to say he couldn't have?
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick trigger with a lot of guys. We talk about it. Reddick had a long career. Reddick was kind of getting run out of the league. Not run out, but like it didn't look good for his prospects.
Well, he was supposed to be he was like a top lottery pick for like the Magic.
But right.
He was never going to be the best player on the team.
Right, but sometimes that's how it goes. Like Wiggins was a number 1 pick. Do you think Wiggins is a superstar or has delivered as a superstar?
I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
You think Wiggins is going to be a Hall of Famer?
Everyone makes the NBA. It's a pro basketball Hall of Fame, so everyone ends up making it.
That's a wild take, Phil.
That's a wild
really?
take. That's a wild
Look at NBA Hall of Famers.
No, I agree, but
it is the basketball Hall of Fame.
And also, I'd say that
Wiggins, but he didn't. He played 1 year in college. He might make it because of his Canadian attributes.
He won a finals.
I don't know, Phil. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. That might be the biggest overstretch.
He may not be a Hall of Famer to you, but the way that
you both are wrong. You're underachieving for Andrew Wiggins. He's a really fucking good player.
But he's not a number 1 superstar pick. He's already moved franchises. He's not the prototypical number 1 pick when he came out.
Fine,
when he came out, they were making him like he was the next LeBron.
Yeah, but they always do. They did the same.
Okay.
Shit. They did the same shit with fucking.
So
Ben
both
Simmons.
can be true. I think Wiggins is a good player, but he's not the star we expected him to be.
He's an all-star.
Yeah,
he's an all-star.
Agreed. Took a little while for him to get to all-star though. He wasn't an all-star in Minnesota left and right.
He kind of got a bag in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, he's also still like decently young too. He's only 29. He's
Agreed. Yeah, he has a long time, but he wasn't lighting it up in Minnesota where they were like heartbroken when they let him go.
He's 18 point per game scorer in his career. Those guys usually end up getting in.
He's not going to get.
I don't think he's going to get. I think there's too many stars around him to be a Hall of Famer right now.
He's not even sniffing the Hall of Fame.
He was Rookie of the Year too, so that helps.
Phil, fuck off.
Give me the next one.
So you're telling me if he plays
only we could go Scotty Reynolds to fucking Wiggins on a Wednesday.
if he plays 17 seasons and then the 18 point per game scorer, he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it'll be close. Give me the next one.
All right.
This is maddening.
Wild take.
Joel from Chicago.
Yo, you
What's
got
up?
me?
Yep.
Happy New Year, Rico.
Happy
long
New
time,
Year.
long time. So I am coaching middle school lacrosse right now, and I just graduated college. It's my first time coaching. I don't know if you've coached or whatever before. I just wanted to kind of ask the booth, what are some of the things that you remember from that age group that you would look for in a coach, like if you were trying to mold one yourself? Like
how old?
Because they're 7th and 8th grade, so like middle school. Like just some advice or attributes that you would have liked in your middle school coach that they may not have had. Like I said, I'm pretty young. I just graduated college, so I can get along with the kids. But
yeah, I think
just figured that it was a good question.
Treat them like don't treat them like little kids. I remember that. Like you have enough where you know kind of who's bullshitting or that. You hate being talked down to, and you're in 7th and 8th grade, so like you think you have independence. So I guess talking to them like adults, being firm, you definitely still, because they'll walk all over you if you're not firm.
Right.
And then still like kind of wanting to win, but also prep you for high school, would I say would be the 4 big things. Don't talk to me like a kid. Don't let them be walked on. Don't let us walk all over you because then I lose all respect. Prep me for high school. And also like put winning above the most, because this is the end. Like in 8th, sometimes it's the last time guys are playing organized sports to a degree. They're not going to play in high school or whatever. So like winning above everything at that point.
It also totally depends how serious your like middle school is sports wise. Like if it's a team that's clearly just wants to have fun,
right,
like you got to go with the flow with that, and just like be like, this is just sports, we're having fun. If you guys stink, like having that sort of attitude. But if you're in a fucking psycho district,
yeah,
they're probably
teach them something too.
Yeah,
teach them.
They're going to want to take it more seriously than the parents.
Phil, next one.
Yeah.
I mean, he had his opinion, but he asked.
Did you hang up?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know. I feel, hey, he's gonna coach. He's gonna give me his resume.
It did feel like. Is he still on?
Different guy.
Different guy. He was pumping his tires a little bit.
Let me just say this really quick too. The way he said it, he's like, it sounded like he was like, "How would you like to have been groomed as a middle schooler?"
Exactly.
Okay, Al.
What a pussy.
Al's on. I forgot where he's from.
Hey, Bosco.
What's up?
Little birdie told me you're taking the Detroit Mercy head coaching job.
No, I don't. I don't know if I would want that one. I would take Wagner if it was offered. 10-minute commute.
Well, they ain't hiring.
I know. No, I'm not taking Detroit Mercy. I don't know who will. I don't know what. Some of those jobs I respect those guys getting in, but it's like, bro, do you really think you're gonna be here in 5 years?
I think when you're looking for a coach that knows how to
The
build up a program,
Reddit boards are going crazy.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a coach that knows how to build up a program, like has taken like a mid-major to a national championship before, or, like you gotta have Brad Stevens say no.
Yeah.
You got him. You just
Such
gotta.
a dick.
You call Jay Wright at
You're
least.
such a dick.
Call Jay Wright.
You're such a dick.
Hey,
You're such a dick. Although if Indiana opens, he's at the top of the list.
Dusty May.
Dusty in shirts.
Dude.
I like shirts.
Yeah, I think you call shirts if you're Detroit Mercy as well.
Why? That's
Detroit,
a downgrade.
Detroit.
Shut up. Just shut up. Give me the next one, Phil. I can't listen to this guy.
Oh, so super chat.
Yeah. Well,
Bosco, little bird.
No,
it's from Rumble.
Okay.
It's from Rumble. I swear to God.
Just Photoshop an image of me walking a fucking tightrope. That's what this show is every day. And somehow I'm the least problematic of this. Okay, Rumble. Give us the Rumble. Agreed. Make sure it's fucking Rumble, Phil. Right over his shoulder.
It's Rumble.
All right.
Is it Rumble?
Yeah.
I just love how three other guys are like spotters. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, motherfuckers trying to get me.
No, we're good. Good.
Maybe don't call it super chats on Rumble. Maybe we'll just call it Bosco chats.
Yeah, exactly.
The rum chat.
The rum chat. Rider chat. Perfect.
Bosco, little birdie told me you're headed to Detroit Mercy to take over the men's head coaching job.
Okay, I love that. Great.
Right,
I love it.
Anthony, Rhode Island, you're on.
Phil, how many more you got?
Anthony from Rhode
Rico,
Island.
from Rhode Island.
What's going on?
What's up?
Hey, I had a quick question. We were talking about people who quit. Who quit more? Ed Cooley's team quitting him, or he quitting his marriage?
You guys are fucking animals, dude. Make the tournament first. Where is Providence right now in terms of the dance? Can we get an update
we're
right?
gonna be in there.
Last four in.
Last four in. Okay. You guys are like pointing at the scoreboard and like just I want you in.
Double the wins Ed Cooley has in the Big East.
That's a long trade ride home from Penn on a Wednesday night if you lose a game that you're not supposed to lose. Or Thursday.
If the poll was in
nothing
the Big
worse.
East, Ed Cooley had 0 wins.
Nothing worse than checking back into that hotel room at like 4:15 and you lost the 2:00 game on a Thursday and you're like, man, I booked my hotel through Saturday.
By 35.
Okay, I'm just saying. Just saying, Kansas State is winning games. Kansas State moving up. We got a friend at Utah on that staff, even though they haven't sent merch.
Pull up the bracket.
Iowa looks pretty good in the Big Ten. Like, just be careful. The bubble's crowded, man. A lot of elbow room in that bubble.
Tonight. I'm just saying they look like they're playing really hard for Ed. They're going all out. Got a great team down there.
All right, nothing would make me more happy than Georgetown meeting Providence in the Big East tournament, just for the theatrics. Please give us that.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
If Providence misses the tournament, like
I have no ill will towards Providence.
Same.
I just do think that they got a little out in front of themselves.
no,
and
look, I'm a Providence guy.
Yeah.
I'm just asking a question here.
Shout out Brian McKenzie. Shout out Vince Council.
Providence,
even though he left.
Shout out Bryce Cotton. If Providence doesn't make the tournament, is the season a failure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even with Bryce Hopkins out.
This year for sure, I think you have to make it and Georgetown can't. And then you have one chip on your corner. Like, they have to sweep the series. Did they play in Georgetown yet?
No, they think they finished the year there.
Okay. So they got to sweep and they got to make the tournament. And then you got then the score is to me 3-0.
Dude, I don't think that, like, here's one take I'll have. If you're Providence, I don't think you can really, like, showboat this year.
No, not yet.
I don't think you're show. If you miss the tournament, you can't like show.
No.
You can't flex over Cooley.
You're just two teams who didn't make a tournament. You got to make the tournament.
Right. That's where I stand.
That's where I'm at. Dukes, give me a final thought.
Oh, I have one more caller. You wanted?
Yeah, I'll take the last one.
Gerald from New York.
Rico, did you say Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, are you a Shane Gillis fan?
I like Shane. Yes, I thought Saturday Night Live was hysterical.
Yeah, I emailed a couple people at Barstool about like $1,500 or something, and I thought the human resources meeting was funny when he stood up and said, "I got $1,500." But yeah, I was gonna ask what you thought about that in healthy debate. What office do you like better, New York or Chicago?
I don't even know if I want to know where he's going with
wasted.
this. What's the $1,500 comment?
I don't think no.
He hung up?
I hung up on him.
All right. Is that like an inside joke? Like, what's the?
Yeah, it's about you money laundering at Barstool.
What are you talking?
It's a joke. It's a tax joke.
Wait, what?
I was joking.
No, because now you're like muddying the waters even more. Like, what are you talking about?
Dukes, final debate. What we
Hold
got?
on. All right, let's clear this up.
Look, you made that weirder than it was. It was just a joke because the guy was rambling. He was saying, like, did you see the human resources joke at SNL? Where Shane Gillis, during the skit, had 1,500s to go to the strip club. Like, the guy was like...
Yes. Okay, I forgot the intricacies of the skit. Now it's
when you
coming
said
back.
the money thing, I saw you so harped on that I was like,
didn't
oh,
know
he's
what
talking
the
about you
fuck.
stealing $1,500.
I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, I was like...
Now it's coming back. I remember the skit.
So when you were like, what does the $1,500 have to do with me? I was like, oh, you stole money.
No, just in general, dickhead.
Yeah, I was just busting your balls. But I saw that you were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wild.
And then what did he even finish with?
Chicago or New York? I don't know.
What do you like better?
I mean, I'm a hybrid player. One day I'm here, the next day I'm there.
What about Miami? You didn't say Miami.
I have been to Miami, yeah.
Yeah, so which office?
I've also been to the Phoenix office. Shout out to Phoenix office. If you know, you know.
You live in the Phoenix office.
Yeah, I do live in the University of Phoenix office. Dukes, give me the last final take.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about this. Drea De Matteo.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you pull this up really quick?
Fucking mortgage in 5 minutes? What do you think I would have to do to get my mortgage paid in 5 minutes? Unblock?
I don't know if I can say this on air.
Cock shot?
What would you have to do to pay your mortgage off?
Like, what skill or what demand do I give to the internet that I could pay a mortgage in 5 minutes?
Fuck, that's a good one.
It used to be doing, content with criminals in Lancaster, but, like, we crossed that bridge. Like, so it's, I guess I don't know. I'm jealous of her, for sure. You can start the clock, Stanko. Been going for 45 seconds. Maybe knock it down to a minute 10. Yeah, so go ahead. So she fill in the details. She paid her mortgage going on OnlyFans. She had $10 in her account. Who was her money manager before this?
I don't know.
Can you imagine that, though? You're, like, down to your last straw.
Probably like James Gandolfini's godson was like...
What?
Probably like James Gandolfini's like godson was her money manager or something. Like probably someone connected. Like,
probably. Yeah, I mean, some guy Sal doing it out of his car. Yeah. But imagine being down. This is the thing I thought of this. Like, you take a chance and you open the OnlyFans and you're like, all right, whatever, I signed up. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I can make like another week to survive the rent for a month or something like that. And then you open your account and she's got, what, a couple of $100,000 or $1 million? How much did she make?
Let me see the exact number.
Like, you got to think there's a glitch in the system. There's no way, you know what I mean? Like, that thrill of opening your account, I just can't even imagine.
I don't think
I can't even imagine that. It's not retirable money, but I just can't imagine that.
Whose OnlyFans do you think would sell the quickest out of someone you grew up on? Like, name it like an actress or some TV show.
Damn.
Like, would it be like a Kelly Kapowski? Like,
yeah, I mean, just
that's
for
still
the...
gross. Wasn't she a teenager? If she's
50 now. She's 50. Damn. I mean, because, like, Pam Anderson, just for this, like, the sex appeal, but she's already been out there, obviously.
The Dario we've seen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sweeney's dumped him, no?
Yeah, Sweeney's dumped.
She's done more than dumped. Have you watched anything she's in?
Only those. It's very much like the girl from that when me and Dave got in the fight about it. He's like, you didn't watch the movie. I'm like, I watched the scene. He's like, how do you not know the movie? Because I only watched the scene. I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about the movie. Yeah, probably she would be up there. I feel like for a small run, Topanga, Carmen Electra, maybe. Carmen Electra, I feel like in the 90s was a lightning rod.
Khaleesi for a while. Khaleesi?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
But she was out early, yeah, I mean.
You saw some boobs in it, but like I'm saying, she gets an OnlyFans started, like, and she does like dragon shit.
I'll give you this one to end it. Complete hornball chat, whatever. Rumble have a field day. What if Margot Robbie fucked up her career and she should have gone reverse? Now, it's hard to do, but let's say she got a bunch of bit parts, and built towards a star or whatever. Then she announces she's going to do that Wolf of Wall Street thing. how much money would she have been paid if she was already established for that?
A shit ton.
A fuck ton, right? Because now it's one of those things like early on she did it because it's like, all right, it's in the script. It's classy the way they did it. She looked beautiful. Like, it's a way to splash. But, like, the bigger you get, you don't need to do that.
Can we stay let's stay horny for like 30 more seconds. Is that the hottest scene in movie history?
Yeah. It's
Which
close.
is?
Salma Hayek in Desperado with Antonio Banderas.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen that scene.
I'll give you one.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'll give you a PG. I'll give you a PG one where somebody looked the hottest. Tara Reid at the end of Van Wilder in the white bikini.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on.
That's the no underwear too,
like,
right?
Come on. Yeah, like that's just iconic. So
I think that, I think Sydney Sweeney in Anyone But You.
Yeah.
Did you see also, sorry, 30 more seconds to staying horny. Did you see Jimmy Fallon interview Sydney Sweeney?
I saw
she had her yuggers out.
Yeah, I saw the timeline.
Want me to pull it out really quick?
He had to keep eye contact.
And
yeah, it was tough.
It is legitimately one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Oh, good blog, Nate.
It's a battle.
Let me just sorry, this is the after.
Yeah,
this
it's a
is
battle.
Bosco after hours.
Seems like a battle. Oh my God.
Look at the eye contact.
It's
that's sneaky fuck.
Crazy. Who's she dating?
She dates just like some like finance.
I mean,
dude
those
in Chicago.
things. That dress is holding on for dear life.
She's fucking begging to be let go. It's like, let go of me, Jack. I'm okay.
Rumble checks.
Rose.
Who's she dating?
Just like some like finance guy in Chicago.
Yeah. So we were saying that we were joking. We'll stay horny for another 30 seconds. We were joking today on Pick Central. If Berrios signs with the Chiefs and Sydney Sweeney somehow dates a Chiefs, is that sweet now just the hottest collection of women ever? You would talk about Blake Lively, who I don't know why she's there, but she's just friends with her. Taylor Swift, who, take it or leave it, is very attractive. You'd have Alex Earl, Sydney Sweeney, and still Brittany Mahomes is like still pretty attractive, but she's like pitching fifth in that rotation.
Yeah, and you want to have a deeper convo about this fucking box? Like we'll talk box. I can talk box for 30
What
minutes.
if isn't she tight with Selena Gomez?
Yeah, she's the best friends. Yeah, and let's just have a conversation about Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. She looked better than Blake Lively, and you will find someone that thinks Blake Lively's hotter than I am. And Taylor Swift stole the fuck.
Very, very hot.
Taylor Swift stole that fucking
And
show
listen,
in Super Bowl.
you know who would still be in the rotation and earn a playoff spot? My girl Kylie. Kylie Kelsey goes out there and throws a couple of innings.
Dude,
she throws a couple of innings.
She's not even like last four
Exactly.
innings. She's not playing a Dayton. Like she's like an 8-9 looking to knock off.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
you look the wrong way and she's jumping up the jump line. What's up, pals? Who are these guys? They just stopped by the glass. Phil, ask them what they want. All right, they literally stopped dead on the thing. All right, that's Healthy Debate. Check out the extended tomorrow with Nikki Smokes, and we will see you again on Monday.